I'm near my tower at the closed trail. Where's that rope supposed to be?
Down the trail that leads west of your tower, so just a teensy bit south and west of you.
Ah! I don't think there's any fictional character I hate more than Forrest Burns.
Henry, as an employee of the Forest Service, that is treason.
Yeah, well, he really freaked me out as a kid.
He inspired me to spend the bulk of my 30s keeping the wilderness safe.
A shrink would have a field day with you.
Thanks, Mom.
What kind of name is Forrest Burns anyway?
Well, that would be a pun, Hank. A glorious pun.
I went to junior high with a guy named Royal Butts.
Royal?
Butts.
I didn't think anyone had been named Royal since the 1850s.
Well, Royal's mom, Flo, was a bit of a trendsetter.
Flo Butts? Oh man, that's even worse.
Yeah, well, it's still better than Forrest Burns. I like the outhouse, that rustic, I'm roughing it sort of way.
Yeah, it's a little privacy among the seemingly endless expanse of, well, privacy.
I like it all the same. Whoa, Delilah, the trail I hiked in on, it's gone.
What is this, the Twilight Zone?
No, there was a rock slide. Is there another path out of the thoroughfare?
Let me think.
Oh my God, I guess I'm lucky I wasn't on it when it happened.
Yeah, for sure. You know, without some impossible mountaineering, there's not really another way out.
So what the hell?
We'll fly you out? I mean, sometimes folks get cut off by fire and we just scoop them up when it's time to go.
Okay.
Don't be nervous.
I'm not.
Well, you sound nervous.
Well, the fact that I could always just hike out was some comfort.
I promise I'll be here for you in this difficult time.
Whoa, I found a turtle. Maybe it's a tortoise. It's a thing with a shell.
Well, isn't that something?
It's actually pretty cute.
Well, Henry, if you decide you want it to keep you company, nobody'll mind.
Now, what do I call it? Looks like a,
Oh, this ought to be good.
Turt Reynolds.
Well, now I can't wait to see him.
The mustache is impressive.
You tell him I love Cannonball Run. I take it you fell prey to the Forest Service's big recruiting effort? When it comes to, how the hell you ended up out here?
I saw the job in the paper and figured, what the heck?
What the heck? I've got no ties and no life. Better go spend what's left of it in utter loneliness.
Something like that?
Yeah, thanks to last summer, the bump in Forest Service budget actually allowed for us to advertise for the job. Glad it worked.
What happened last summer that accounted for this, windfall?
Jeez. I mean, the federal government almost let Yellowstone National Park burn to the ground? Ring a bell?
Yellowstone is 15 miles away. Why would they do that?
Well, the short story is that for 60 years, we got very good at not letting forest fires happen. And then about 15 years ago, they decided that forest fires in wilderness areas like Yellowstone should be left to burn. So that's what they did. I can't believe you didn't hear about this. There were reports that the entire park was gone. Dan Rather telling the country that President Reagan didn't care on the nightly news? I mean, what the hell's he gonna do? Smoke jump in and snuff one out for the Gipper?
So what should they have done?
I don't even know. By the time the Yellowstone folks realized the little fires weren't gonna burn themselves out, 100,000 acres were gone. It's Yellowstone, People don't want to touch it. But we touch it every single day. But hey, I got a 30 cents an hour raise because we can't have another fiasco. Like the goddamn park can burn down again.
Hi there, it's Jake.
And Chris again.
Hey, so here we are in the cache box clearing, or at least I guess that's what we call it. There's a lot of cache boxes in Firewatch, but this was the first one that we placed into the game.
For a long time, this was the cache box.
It was the cache box, even though we knew we wanted to have more. This area was actually one of the first areas that we built out to any degree that looks like a piece of the world. It was a really good proving ground for us. Like when me and Nels Anderson were grayboxing the world at the very beginning, we tried a million different things, like maybe this was on the edge of a cliff, or maybe it was a secret that you had to find. And I think it was Sean who suggested that he really wanted it to feel like a warm, sort of enclosed space, like you've stumbled onto a little glen and you want to stay there for a while, which I think makes sense because we wanted people to actually stop and poke around and have it not feel like the woods.
This was an area with a lot of firsts. I remember this really ended up looking a lot like Ollie's concept art in a way I think that felt like an accomplishment when it all got built out. It was also the first audio I implemented in the entire game, I believe.
The Foley on the locks and the lid?
Right, exactly.
Oh, this was, man, this was also, the cache box was also our proving ground for detailed object interaction with Henry animating the lock. And also, there is an exit out if you back up and turn left. That was the first time I prototyped one-way drops and also any like sort of secret paths, because the way that you cross the canyon also showed up here, and I didn't tell anyone on the team about it for like months, and people only noticed it once they started playing the back half of the game, and it was very fulfilling for me.
Nice.
Cache box.
Cache box, land of firsts and secrets.
That's the state flag of cache boxes.
Hey, I found a note to a guy named Ron from some guy Dave.
That's probably Dave Gaskell. He's completely nuts.
Is that right?
Harmless, but yeah, one of those, fall off the grid and eat ants for a week type. Totally fucking cuckoo. Which is kind of what the job attracts.
I tracked down that rope. It was right where you said.
Great. So you should be set to get down to the lake.
People just stuff these things with old food? That's how you get bears.
Those boxes are bear-proof. I wouldn't worry about it.
Wow, there's an old, I think it's called a medicine wheel out here.
Yeah, it was made by Crow American Indians hundreds of years ago. There are lots of small ones. Have you ever been to Medicine Wheel Monument over in the Bighorns?
Well, I sure haven't.
Well, it's worth a 3-hour detour on the way home in August.
Neat. I'll keep it in mind. So, I'm at the medicine wheel.
So you're near your lookout?
Yeah, sure. So if I'm at this medicine wheel near my tower, where should I go to find the fireworks?
They're to your northwest from there, I think. If you hike north from there, you should find the shale slide I mentioned.
Oh, I'm still at that medicine wheel. I'm not sure where to go.
It's okay. There should be a couple of trails that head north from there. Take the one on the left, the westerly one.
Okay, I think I can figure that out.
The radio went on a real evolutionary journey. I don't know if you remember back at the very beginning when we all got together to make the game. We got together in December, like the first week of December, and we said, well, we're definitely going to take Christmas break, but what can we make in 2 weeks with this crew in Unity, an engine we've never used before? And we started starting with the radio mechanic, and I quickly wrote like a mystery about an FBI agent looking for a kidnapper in the woods, and then you had like a dispatcher who was like, go to this place and look for this. Oh, I think he left. And I think that's when we sort of proved out that looking at things and pointing at them the way you would like in a shooter, but then getting options to talk about them was the thing we were going to do.
That's kind of where the radio mechanic is so different from most conversation systems in games, right? Because most game conversation systems like, oh, you're standing next to this guy, so you can talk to him now, and you will be able to talk about things that have recently happened to you. But since it's a radio, it's like you could be anywhere, anytime, talking about whatever you're looking at. So even as we started to like do that initial prototyping, we sort of realized like, oh, that's very interesting. Also, this is really complicated and very different from how most games do dialogue.
Yeah, when you're standing in front of a character, you just sort of have the like very like binary rule of I am standing in front of a character in an adventure game, I can talk. I walk away, I can't. When you change that up and you can talk about things wherever because the proximity to that character is no longer relevant, you start to find really weird cases. Like, what do you do when you want to talk about an idea or a sound you just heard, a smell? So then we had to sort of like bring the radio mechanic into the realm of like the intangible. And I don't think that really came on until much later.
Yeah, we got like, I think during that prototype we got the very initial vestiges of it, but in that initial prototype it was so simple where it's like, oh, if you're looking at this weird stone head, you can like push the one button to play this crappy audio top of "Oh hi Mark" from Tommy Wiseau's The Room, or you can push 2 to say "Oh hi Denny" instead.
That was the darkest time of development for me.
It was the most wonderful time
because that movie gives me real physical illness. When we had mapped the radio mechanic to 2 lines from The Room, I was in a bad way about that.
I enjoyed it greatly.
I know you did. I know you did.
Yes.